another episode of the podcast. In today's episode, it's going to be very quick, and I just want to highlight the difference between fake progesterone, which is a medication, versus real deal progesterone, which is body identical, bioidentical. It's important because these fake progesterones are harmful. And if you are taking any of these fake progestins, because they're not progesterone, we call them progestins, then you might want to talk to your provider about switching ASAP. So progestins, these are synthetic, they're not bioidentical, so they're not the same in structure to the real deal progesterone, right? They are designed to mimic progesterone's effects in the body, but they do behave differently in the body. And then we have progesterone, which is natural, bioidentical, or body identical, and that is the one that we always want to be taking. And this is chemically identical to the progesterone found in our body, so it behaves the same way, the way in which we want it to behave. So progestins, fake progesterones, you're going to find them in birth control pills. You're going to find them in the Mirena IUD, places like this. So keep an eye out for them. Medroxyprogesterone acetate is a common one, but I'm going to list some of the other names in the show notes. So you can go to the show notes and quickly have a little look to see. But you want to think about, I don't see a lot of people coming to me these days on HRT using a progestin, but it can happen. So you want to definitely check if you're on the birth control pill, you're probably taking a progestin. You want to check your HRT for sure. Things like Prempro, Provera, these are that medroxyprogesterone acetate, which is the fake progestin, the medication of progesterone that is not progesterone. The Mirena, like I said, some other IUDs, oral contraceptives, right? We talked about that, the birth control pill. Have a little think about what you're on and then go to the show notes and I'll list out the names of these fake progesterones, the progestins, the medication progestins. So why do we care? So there are some very real harms of progestins and there's no reason to take them when there are harms to something, but yet we have an alternative that there are no harms. And I say that, you might say, well, Tara, I have reacted to natural bioidentical progesterone. Yes, but there are ways around that. There's always a way around it. It's about the delivery route usually or the dose. But there's really no harm there's only benefit to replacing your natural bioidentical progesterone. But there can be a lot of harms to the medication progestin. So the progestins increase your risk of breast cancer. We saw this way back in the Women's Health Initiative, back in the early 2000s. There was an increased risk of breast cancer associated with the medroxyprogesterone acetate. So that's not bioidentical progesterone. So bioidentical progesterone can support breast health, but the progestins can increase your risk of breast cancer. And then the progesterones also can potentially have a negative impact on your cardiovascular system, whereas progesterone supports the cardiovascular system. So these progestins have the ability to increase your risk of things like clots, maybe even stroke, heart disease. So you want to be very, very careful. Then we have mood disturbances. This is a big one. So a lot of women go on the pill and they get these mood disturbances. Maybe they get a lot of anxiety or they get rage or they get mood swings or depression. That's the progestin. That's the progestin, the fake progesterone in the birth control pill that is doing that. Progesterone won't do that. Now, natural progesterone, we're not going to get into all this. I've talked about this a lot on various other podcasts. Natural progesterone can impact your mood, but usually it's a delivery route problem, right? If you're taking oral, when you take oral bioidentical progesterone, it has to be metabolized in the liver, and that can produce these byproducts that for some people are wonderful because they're very sleepy, calming byproducts, or metabolites, but for some people, it can really dampen mood or can make you feel groggy, but there's ways around that. You just change the delivery route. You could do topical, vaginal. Sometimes it's a matter of having to increase, not decrease your dose. I've gone into it in detail in other podcast episodes, but progesterone typically is going to support your mood, lower your anxiety, remove your PMS and that rage and irritability that comes along. That's the natural progesterone, but progestins can do the opposite. Progestins also have the ability to negatively impact your lipids. So, your cholesterol profiles, things like this. And progestins can definitely impact ovulation. whereas very high dose natural bioidentical progesterone does not typically do that. It really depends again on the delivery route though. If you're taking oral progesterone, you're probably not going to suppress your ovulation. Vaginal though, you need to be a little bit more careful because it's a much more absorbed. The other thing that may occur with these progestins is they may not play as nicely with your estradiol, right? So estrogen, progesterone, they need to be in balance. They work off each other. They actually support one another. But these progestins can sometimes negate some of estrogen's benefits, whereas natural bioidentical progesterone has a better relationship with estrogen than the fake synthetic progestins do. Really keep that in mind. Your natural bioidentical progesterone is going to support your sleep, support your mood, support your breast, support your brain, support your bones, right? Support your cardiovascular system, even your hair. With progestins, you can notice hair loss, whereas progesterone can support your hair. So it's quite amazing, the nature of these two. You've got your natural bioidentical progesterone. Why wouldn't you use that? That supports all these different areas of your health. And then you've got the fake medication progestin, which can damage these areas of your health. So it's really a no-brainer. So that's why I just wanted to do this very quick episode, because you need to understand that there is absolutely no need to be taking a progestin, because a lot of the times the reason you're taking a progestin, you can actually utilize the bioidentical progesterone, especially in midlife when we're talking about things like heavy periods and such. I hope that was helpful. And as always, please subscribe and share this with anybody who you think would benefit from this episode. Bye for now. I am not a medical professional, and the information provided in this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. I do not have access to your individual medical history or circumstances, so the content discussed here should not be considered as medical advice. Before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, or considering the use of supplements, please consult with a qualified healthcare professional or your doctor to ensure it's safe and appropriate for your specific situation. Any decisions you make based on the content of this podcast are at your own discretion and risk. Thank you for tuning in.